Hi. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is your girl Icy Pricey, and I finally opened up my own channel, and I'm so glad to have finally done it. I want to go ahead and start off with an intro video, let you know who I am, what to expect, give you a little insight about my past and everything. I've been wanting to do this video for a few years and everything, but I haven't had the gumption or the gall to do it. So here I am. I wanted to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Icy Pricey. I am on Instagram and TikTok under Icy Pricey. Please look me up. I am here to talk to you about my journey for VSG surgery. I recently had vertical gastrectomy surgery on July 15, 2020. And so far I've lost over 80 pounds. I'm still on the losers bench, and I hope to go ahead and continue on losing weight. I'm in the midst of toning up. But it was the best decision I could have made, and I'm very, very happy that I've done it. I initially started off with wanting to do the surgery years ago. I yo-yo. My highest weight recorded was 257 pounds. I'm 5'7", so, and I've always had like a smaller frame, but over the years, life happens, you gain weight, you can't get it off, and that happens or whatever. So, long story short, I decided I wanted to get surgery maybe back in 2010, 2008, 2010 sometime. But that was at a time where lap band was really prominent, and I was really on board with the lap band until I heard, horror stories about people's band slipping, or they would gain their weight back, or just little issues that I didn't necessarily want to go through. And I had heard about VSG, but the same token, it was bypassed. They didn't give it this fancy name or whatever, or maybe they did and I just didn't pay attention to it, but it seemed very, very extreme. So at that time, my mind wasn't developed enough to go ahead and actually go along with the surgery, although I knew people who had had it. I didn't necessarily want to go down that route. And I want to say I learned about the bypass, where they take your intestine, your stomach, and connect it directly with your intestine, something like that. I think I want to hear about the duodenal switch. I'm not pronouncing it right, sorry. But I think I heard about that one first, and I think that's what scared me. But eventually, I finally got on board with it, maybe about 2015. And then during that time, I was working with a company that I wasn't necessarily happy with, and we eventually got laid off. So, wandered around without a job and everything. And of course, you still got this weight. That was one of the main things. I promise you, this is one of the main things was on my mind, because I felt like that was what was hindering me in my dating life, hindering me, in my personal life, just dealing with people. Your outlook is totally different when you're in a situation where you feel like you can't get out of it or whatever. And even though I tried, I went to gyms, I did Weight Watchers, I did the drops, the HCG drops, I did the drops, I did the shots, I did pills, I did all type of things. I spent so much money on personal trainers and this, and I've seen the results. Don't get me wrong, I've seen the results, but life happens, and a lot of times you can get out of your routine and everything. And then you also have stubborn belly weight. I mean, I'm over 30, so it's not as easy for me to drop the pounds like it was when I was in my 20s. So, I decided to go ahead and go about making a surgery for myself and having a surgery. And it was the best decision I could have made. I'll say that throughout this entire video. 2019, I was, between 2017 and 2019, I was substitute teaching. And, substitute teaching, they don't really offer many benefits or whatever, so I couldn't really focus on the surgery then. But I had the kids, so I was happy to go ahead and do that. I learned a new skill. I learned things about myself in that era of my life too. But then I started to look into like the government, the government, seeing if they could do it. And I found out there are ways that you can get them to do it. It's really hard. Well, not hard, but it's really you have to really get your ducks in a row to get it that way. But after I started checking my coins and, really deciding what I wanted to do, I had to let the substitute teaching go, and, get something that's much more stable. And the company I'm with now, luckily, they provided the surgery. I was not going to stay if they did not offer any kind of insurance that will cover the surgery. So got hired on, and I immediately, maybe within a month when my insurance kicked in, I went to the doctor and let them know exactly what I wanted to do. And they referred me to the doctor that did my surgery, which was Dr. Ricks at My New Self Bariatrics in St. Louis, Missouri. He was amazing. He was very kind. He was very patient. He knew I was nervous because I was just like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know if I'm just going to not wake up. I just didn't know. So we went over, and of course you have to go through a seminar, make sure that you know exactly what the different types of weight loss surgery is and what the insurance will cover, the cost, the risk. You go through all of that. And I want to say it was about a 2-hour seminar. So after the seminar, of course, you go ahead and you do your paperwork, and they'll go ahead and call your insurance company to see if you qualify or if they will pay for the surgery, and they will. Well, mine did. They have, Dr. Ricks has a secretary who will go ahead and do the verification for you. So, of course, I had to go ahead, I got a list, I got approved, but I had to go ahead and do my pre-op things, which was basically making sure that I was monitored for 6 months to make sure that I can lose the weight. Psych eval. I have a heart condition, so they want to make sure that I saw the cardiologist, the dietitians. You just have to go ahead and make sure you stay up on all of your requirements. Now, you could go ahead and get your requirements done with Weight Watchers. You can get them done. Just basically show that you have been with a verified person or verified system that will, track your weight loss. I actually went through my primary doctor, simply because I just wanted to make sure that it's recorded, it's documented properly, the paperwork got over there properly, and I didn't want to waste any time. I had already gotten past the certain years. I told you 10 years ago I wanted to do it, so I just didn't want to waste any time. So each month I was able to lose weight. And funny thing is that I was able to lose maybe about 15 pounds during those 60 months, whatnot. And I got a chance. I didn't lose anything the 3 days before, with a liquid diet or whatnot. But I went ahead and I lost the weight. And basically got the official date, which was going to be back in May of 2020. But because of the pandemic and everything that was going on, and also I may have missed one of my months or whatnot, so they're very, very strict. Let me go back on that. They're very, very strict on your 6-month observation. So if you guys have watched that 1,000-Pound Sisters, I love TLC. I'm always on TLC. But if you watch that 1,000-Pound Sisters or a 600-Pound Life, those doctors will give you a certain amount of weight to lose and everything, and they do that just to make sure that they can make sure that you can do it. Weight loss is a journey for us all, but we also know how we got here. And food is addictive, and it's a behavior, and it's a learned behavior. So you have to go ahead and start to reverse that, and they need to make sure that you can do that, because eventually, if you don't or whatnot, it could kill you or whatever. You could have some real big issues or whatnot. One of the girls was having problems with losing the weight on the 1,000-Pound Sisters, and I understand because it is an addiction and everything. But you got to go ahead and play the game. You got to, know, hey, you were in this situation. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You don't want to give anybody an opportunity to keep talking about you or feel like you're a burden to them and everything. You just want to go ahead and handle yourself, regardless of whatever else you may do, handle yourself. And that's basically what I had to go ahead and do. So I got a chance to show that I lost the weight. They gave me, instead of putting me on a 2-week liquid diet, they only gave me 3. And I made it maybe 48 hours. But then I had to have just a little something just to put on my stomach and everything. They want to make sure that your liver shrinks. They want to make sure that the devices that they're using can get to the organ. You don't want to go ahead and have that, have them go in vain. So that's basically what they want to make sure, that your liver shrinks, that they can get those tools inside to do what it needs to do. So I was sleeved on July 15, 2020, and it was a journey. One of the nurses said, "You're going to be fine. You're going on a mini vacation." And it was, I went ahead and I went to sleep. Woke up and they warned me of the gas. One of the things that I experienced after surgery was gas. They pump you up with a lot of air, and it's all in your chest area. It's not in your stomach area like it normally is, getting ready to come out. But it was like, it was just, it was really, really, really uncomfortable. And it took me maybe about 4 days to pass all of that air that was inside of me. Either it was, be it a burp or be it a fart or whatever. It had to come out one way or another. So, of course, you have your liquid diet that you're on for the first week. And of course, your week liquid diet starts while you're in the hospital. I actually had to stay a couple of days because I had, I was throwing up. It was different. Like, it felt, once the surgery was over, of course, you didn't have an appetite. I didn't have an appetite for the first couple of days, but I had to put something on my stomach. And because I was dry heaving, they had to keep me or whatever. But the next day I was ready to go home. So once I got back to my house and everything, and I laid in my bed and felt comfortable, of course it was still a big adjustment, but I got through it. I will say that each day gets better. I mean, every step that you take, it gets better. Now, I started off being able to drink maybe like a little tubie or something, and I would drink those and I would be fine. And then, of course, my protein shakes was my friend. I loved my protein shakes. They were the best things that ever happened to me. And then by the time I got a little in and everything, I felt like a new woman. So I'll go ahead and tell you guys, after about 2 or 3 days, first 2 or 3 days, you don't have any kind of appetite. You can't feel it. You have, the medicine is on you so much to where, it's done all. You don't want it. You get whatever kind of sips you can get, and that's it. That's literally all you can get, maybe about 2 or 3 sips. But the thing is that after those 2 or 3 days, the hunger for me, it was an onset. It was like a baby or something like that. It's like I felt like my stomach was touching my back. I was so flipping hungry. But of course, I couldn't eat. Now, I didn't try to eat. I didn't want to eat. I didn't try to eat until maybe, until I got into my liquid solids, my solid liquids or something. Solid liquids, that's nothing. But my more solid foods, maybe about week 3, I had some eggs. And that filled me up. But I didn't eat anything the first 2 or 3 weeks. Although it feels like you want to eat, it's a mind game. It's a big, big mind game. Because once I took a sip of my protein shake or a little bit of my water or my Gatorade, I was fine. But as the weeks go on and everything, again, you've been with your body for so many years. You're not going to go ahead and expect any kind of major miracle, miraculous behaviors to go ahead and come about. So you have to go ahead and train yourself. And your new tool, this is a tool, it's going to go ahead and tell you. It's going to tell you, hey, you're done. You can't eat anything else. And if you overdo it, you're going to barf. This is what's going to happen. But long story short, I got a chance to get myself the surgery, bringing it back into my experience with the food. I got my sips in, but by week 3, I could feel it. I could feel it. And it was almost like every 2 hours I would have to have some kind of applesauce or some kind of yogurt. Now, over the time, my tolerance for yogurt has gone down. I hate yogurt, but I love applesauce and pudding. A lot of softer foods. So I've been able to go ahead and progress myself each week. And since the surgery, I'm about 6 or 7 months out. I got to be about at least 7 months out. And of course, I'm on solids. I've had everything basically. Breads, I really can't tolerate much of the breads. Chicken tastes funny to me, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the protein, the need for protein, or I've never been a steak girl, but for whatever reason, my taste buds, my palate has changed a lot. So I will say that I can tolerate steaks more for whatever reason, but I can't eat much of it because, of course, my stomach is very, very small. I still can only get a very small amount of food in, and I'm happy about that because, shoot, I feel great. I look great. I've gotten my little shape back. I still have my little fupa, or my little apron is what the old people call it and everything, but I'll take it. I'll take it over the knee pains and the pre-diabetes and the irregular periods and all of that old the fibroids and I'll take that. You know, my mom had the surgery about 3 years ago and she's no longer diabetic. It's a decision that only you can make, but I promise you it's not a bad choice. You'll thank yourself. When I came out of surgery, I did have my regrets. Like, that was like the only time I had my regrets. It was like, man, I should have done this and everything. Because I mean, of course, I still thought about pizza. I still thought about a good burger. This is a place in St. Louis that I love to go to. And they have the best burgers and everything. And I kept thinking about that. And this was like after the surgery and everything. Once they gave me the medicine and I started feeling much better, that changed. That changed a lot. I battled with telling everybody whether I had the surgery or not because, again, I wanted it to be a wow factor, but I also got hit with slack when I did initially bring it up to friends. And basically, they made me feel like it was like I was taking an easy way out. Like, okay, well, you know, you could just do this or you could just do that and this, that, and the other. But they didn't wake up with me every day. They didn't feel the way I felt. They didn't see the things I saw. And I mean, I hate to say it, but those relationships did not last because after I had my surgery and I started to feel much better and everything, a lot of people don't know how to handle that and everything, especially when they're used to you being in that particular mind space. So life changes, everything happens for a reason. But it is what it is. I mean, I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I'm talking to you. I'm glad that I was able to go ahead and get my story out there. You'll see much more content from me, a lot of funny content, a lot of personal content. But stick around. I'm pretty sure that you'll be entertained. Thank you again for dropping by my page, and like and subscribe if you have not. Have a good one.